Do you persist when it comes to love? Do you persist when it comes to love? Hi, my name is Ann McNeil, and I am the Master Wealth Builder, helping you to build a stronger and better life and business in every area of your life. We're walking through the McNeil Factor Insights from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill with my Ann's Wonderful Words of Wisdom. And our topic today centers around the principle of success entitled persistence. And your question today is, do you persist when it comes to love? Napoleon Hill shares in the chapter on persistence these words: there is a magnificent reward for all who learn to take the 4 steps. The first step is you must. These are the 4 steps when you learn how to persist and how to develop persistence. A definite purpose backed by a burning desire. That's step number 1. A definite purpose backed by a burning desire. Number 2 is a definite plan. Number 3 is a mind closed tightly to all negative. Number 4 is a friendly alliance. Now, he goes on to share that there is a magnificent reward for all who learn to take these 4 steps. It is the privilege of writing one's own ticket. We're talking about you now. And of making your life yield whatever price is asked. I have no way of knowing these facts, but I venture to conjecture that Mrs. Wallace Simpson's great love for a man was not accidental, nor the result of favorable breaks alone. There was a burning desire and a careful searching at every step of the way. Her first duty was to love. And that's your question today. Do you persist when it comes to love? We've talked about money, we've talked about things, but the principle of persistence applies to every single area of your life, including love. What is the greatest thing on earth? The master called it love, not man made rules, criticism, bitterness, slander, or political marriages, but love. She knew what she wanted, not after she met the Prince of Wales, but long before that. Twice when she had failed to find it, she had the courage to continue her search. To thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day. Thou cannot, cannot be false to any man. Her rise from obscurity was of the slow, progressive, persistent order, but it was sure. She triumphed over unbelievable long odds, and no matter who you are or what you may think of Wallace Simpson or the king who gave up his crown for her love, she is an astounding example of applied persistence, an instructor of the rules of self-determination from whom the entire world might profitably take lessons. And I want to just pause here for a second and ask you the question, are you willing to persist when it comes to love? Think about your first love. Yes, yes, think about your first love. Did you give up at the first, second, or third try? Well, how about your second? How about the love of self? How about the love of your creator? Well, the persistence principle applies to love also. When you think of Wallace Simpson, think of one who knew what she wanted, and she took the greatest empire on earth to get it. She shook that empire, shook it to its core. Women who complain that this is a man's world, that woman do not know or have an equal chance to win, owe it to themselves to study carefully the life of this unusual woman who at an age which most would consider old, she captured the affections of the most desirable bachelor in the entire world. What about you? What about you, whether it's male or female? Your partner, are you willing to persist when it comes to the love of your life? That's what we're talking about today. Oftentimes, when we think of Think and Grow Rich, the principles of success, we think of money. But these principles are applicable to every single area of your life, but only if you apply them. And what of King Edward? What lesson may we learn from his part in the world's greatest drama of recent times? Did he pay too high of a price for the affections of the woman of his choice? Surely no one, surely no one but he can give the correct answer. The rest of us can only conjecture. This much we know: the king came into the world without his own consent. He was born to great riches. Politicians, wow. He was persistently sought in marriage. But because he was the firstborn of his parents, he inherited the crown, which he did not seek and perhaps did not desire. For more than 40 years, he was a free agent, could not live his life in his own way, had but little privacy, and finally assumed duties inflicted upon him when he ascended the throne. Ah, but some will say, with all these blessings, King Edward should have found peace of mind, contentment, and joy of living. But the truth of the matter is that in back of all of these privileges of the crown and all the money, the fame, and the power inherited by King Edward, there was an emptiness which could not be filled but only by love. And I'll pause here again and ask you, are you willing to persist for the love of your life? Are you? Well, his greatest desire was for love. Long before he met Wallace Simpson, he doubtless felt this great universal emotion tugging at the strings of his heart, beating upon the door of his soul, and crying out for expression. And when he met a kindred spirit crying out for the same holy privilege of expression, he recognized it. And without fear or apology, he opened his heart and bade it enter. All the scandalmongers in the world could not destroy the beauty of this international drama through which two people found love and had the courage to face open criticism, renounce all else, and give it holy expression. Again, what about you? Are you willing to persist when it comes to the love of your life? Are you willing to do what the king did? Are you willing to do what Wallace Simpson did? Are you? Ask yourself the question. Only you have the answer. King Edward's decision to give up the crown of the world's most powerful empire for the privilege of going the remainder of the way through life with the woman of his choice was a decision that required courage. The decision also had a price, but who has the right to say the price was too great? Surely not he who said, "He among you who is without sin, let him cast the first stone," as a suggestion to any evil-minded person who chooses to find fault with the Duke of Windsor because his desire was for love and for openly declaring his love for Wallace Simpson and giving up his throne for her. Let it be remembered that the open declaration was not essential. He could have followed the custom of clandestine liaisons which had prevailed in Europe for centuries without giving up either his throne or the woman of his choice. And there would have been no complaint from either church nor royalty. Ah, but his love was clean, it was deep and sincere. It represented the one thing which, above all else, truly he desired. Therefore, he took what he wanted and paid the price. And I'd like to suggest he made the investment. If you had been blessed with more rulers with the human heart and the traits of honesty of ex-King Edward for the past century, that unfortunate hemisphere now seething with greed, hate, lust, political compliance, and threats of war would have a different but a better story to tell, a story in which love and not hate would rule. And I'll just wrap up with this by asking the question again. Are you willing to persist? Are you willing to persist when it comes to the love of your life? My name is Ann McNeil, and I am the Master Wealth Builder, helping you to build a stronger and better life and business. And if you are looking to get greater clarity in regards to these principles and how you can use them to have a better, wealthier quality of life, then you can connect with me on all the social media, and please follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Ann McNeil. But until then, as always, continuously, I want to thank you for continuing to think and grow richer with me. But always, I will, yes, 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 I will. I will see you, yes, tomorrow.